And good evening, everybody. It is December 3rd, 2019, a Tuesday evening in the desert Southwest. It's about 10 o'clock at night. I'm Dennis Hudson at orangequant.com, and I'm here with some more statistics about the kinds of things that we all believe in, but we don't use any technical skills really to analyze it. So I felt like this would be a great service. Alright, this time around, and it's a very short video, we have the study of moving average crossups. We're not talking about where price crosses above or below moving average. We're talking about when the moving averages themselves cross above each other. In other words, this is what we're talking about. Say this is the 10 MA and that red one is the 50 MA. This is a cross right here. I'm going to circle it for you there. That's what we call a cross-up. But everybody knows that, I'm sure. And I think I already did a video on price crossing above moving averages, or it's in my bucket list. Okay, so the object of this enterprise is to see if the day after a cross-up, does price follow and go up or not. And actually we've got some good news this time around. Typically in our other statistical studies, we have been finding that what we believed to be true just wasn't true, that the stuff doesn't work. But here I'm going to show you where an opportunity might lie. Otherwise, it's mostly bad news. But let me ask you, what percentage of the time do you think after a cross-up price goes up? This is a study in what they call epistemology, which is the study of how do we know what we think we know. And statistics helps us clear all that up. So, on a cross, what do you think? What percentage of the time does price itself go up the next day? And we look at the second day also. And while you're thinking about that, here's the orangequant.com. Warning, trading is risky. Risk no more than you can afford to lose. Do your own due diligence and always use stop losses. And this is a more detailed disclaimer. Precious words. Please read every one. Okay, have you had time to think about the question? Because here come the statistics. Okay, here are the statistics. You can see what my parameters were when I did this scan. Your stock is $2 to $100, and the minimum volume was 150,000 on a 10 SMA, and that produces about 2,600 stocks. That's not including pink sheets and like that. This is on the Thinkorswim platform. And these were scanned, 2,600 stocks, scanned for moving average cross-ups. And this was done on November 29th, the day after Thanksgiving. And the ones that say good, in other words, how many good, that means the next day, how many had a close higher than the close of the day of the cross-up. Okay, and then I'm using 2 days. Actually, I use, now that was a Friday when the scan was done, so I used the Monday, which was December 2nd, and then the Tuesday, which is today, December 3rd. The total of cross-ups found in each case are right here at the top here. So this first column is the 10 SMA moving up over the 50 SMA, and it found 43 stocks where that happened. The 50 up over the 200, it found 6 stocks where that happened. And the 10 up over the 200, it found 24 stocks where that happened. And of the 43 found in the 10 moving up over the 50, there were 7 found that the next day the close was greater than the close of crossing day, and then 2 days later, 2 days after the cross, 11 were found. And that's how this data reads here. So the 50 over the 200, there were 6 found that crossed the 50 over the 200. And the next day, only 2 of those, I shouldn't say only because that's really a large fraction. 2 of those had closes greater than crossing day. And then on the succeeding day, 3 had a close greater than crossing day. And on the 10 crossing above the 200, it came up with 24 stocks, and 5 of these on the first day after the cross produced a close greater than the crossing day close. And the next day, only 2 produced close greater than crossing day close. I don't fill in the percentages this time around because it gets a little complicated. You're dealing with 2 numbers and there are issues there. But you can see the percentages are not great. So the bad news is that crosses, moving average crosses, not price crossing over moving averages. Moving average crosses typically are not that great of a play. For instance, even if you combined these 2 and said 7 and 11 is 18, which it isn't really because the 11 contains some duplicates from 7. But let's say it's 18, you got less than half the time does that produce a close the next day greater than the close of the crossing day. But here's the good news. In each of these cases, as I mentioned, there are duplicates. In other words, over here where the 10 crossed above the 50 and you only got 7, the first day after, and then the second day after there were 11. In that 11, quite a number of the ones that occurred on the first day are occurring also in the second day. So, and this is same all the way across, it's true all the way across. So, the theory behind the way I would approach this is that if you see a cross, a moving average cross, and you identify several stocks with that moving average cross, that most of them will probably produce a higher close 2 days after the cross. Did that make sense? I hope so. But you can see what I mean here. Okay, I'm Dennis and I'm rooting for you here at orangequant.com. Please give us a like and tell your friends, because this is going to be really important stuff as we move along. Already we've posted some really important videos to smash our old theories. And finally, this time we found something where you could make money instead of just protecting your money. Alright, good night, and we'll see you in the morning out there. Thanks for stopping by.